Aditya, Mahendra, so
Okay,
Swapnal, am I audible to you?
Session, I will close that and done.
Yeah, thank you, Swapnal. Yes. Here, yesterday I discussed a few concepts, few introductions. UI is mainly a front end. So here we can create the UI related front end. That front end always will interact with the database. So UI front end page. Suppose if you enter your username password under some web page, some school website. So Kendriya Vidyalaya, you can take some website, Kendriya Vidyalaya website. If you enter your username and password, so that user's username and that password, if you enter here, your username password, once you click on the submit button, your all details will be submitted to server page. Will be submitted to server page. In the server page, we have to read the details. So this is inside this server page, we have to read the details of the user. User's details, we have to read it. So what details we have to read here? We have to read that username text box and we have to read the password text box. So once I read the password text box and the username text, so after that I have to check with the database. So I have to connect with the DB. So once I connected, so that connection code also we write it inside this. So inside the server code only, we have to write the code for database. So here we will write the database. So mainly front end page, what we are discussing here we are discussing web UI technologies. So web UI technologies, by using this, we can create the view part of our web page. View part of our web page, view part of web page, we can create it by web UI technologies. Under this web UI technologies, we are going to create PM UI. Yeah. Here, under this web UI part, that view part creation sake, we have to learn few things. Few basic things are required to create that front end part. That is HTML, CSS, JavaScript is major. Jquery is a library of JavaScript. Ajax is asynchronous code. And responsive design is used for all types of screens, tab, mobile, like that, all types of screens. So you use responsive code. Responsive design. Then Bootstrap. Bootstrap is nothing but it's a framework. It's a framework of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So it is a framework of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So that is nothing but here it is a framework. Bootstrap is nothing but it's a framework. Next, responsive design. Then we'll discuss about the lessons as. Lessons as is also used for next version of CSS. Next level of CSS, we can use it by this. We'll discuss all this. Here, majorly view part, attractive view part. If you want to design it, for that we have to learn these technologies. After you submit your details, you have to connect with either Oracle or MySQL or MongoDB or Sybase or SQL server. Like that, we have to connect. So we have to connect any one of the database. So we have to connect with any one of the database. If we are connected, if we are able to connect with database is nothing but it's a collection of tables. So that collection of tables, we can connect it in any one database. It may be Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, like that we can connect it. Suppose my application is connecting, my front end part is connecting with the server page and server page is connecting with database. This time, database has to give the response to our response. If the username passwords are exist in the database, it has to give the array of result to this. This result, if the username passwords are exist, we have to redirect our view page to another view page that another view page is our inbox page. So it has to redirect. If the username passwords are exist, we have to show one more view page, that is inbox page. Inside that we have to show mail ID, inbox page, or a next page, home page.html. Some page we have to show. The next view part of the page we have to show to the user. This way, normally if you are creating any application form, means we have to follow this type of structure. If we follow this type of structure, then only we can create our application. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So for creating this type of front-end sake, yesterday I showed few types of web pages. Those web pages are used for builded on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Jquery. So in that Jquery, different type of Jquery effects we are using here. Today morning only I explained with the Jquery, here UI, Jquery, see validation part. Here, how you can implement the validation. Suppose I'm submitting my application form, those fields are required. If I not enter in the email ID format, it is changing that error message. And if I am not entering the password, just I entered only one character, but it's giving, you see, 8 to 16 characters are allowed, uppercase, lowercase, at least one number. This type of error messages, we can give it because of Jquery. If we add that Jquery validation.js file in the program, then only we can implement this validation. Next one is show and hide. Next one is Jquery chaining. No. Jquery water rippling effect I have to show. Water rippling effect, see here how the water effect will show. See here. The water effect we can create it here. So it's very small.
Yes,
Morning time it showed good. No, it is not showing. Think ripple.js. Yes, it is there. Here water effect, mainly water effect, we can create it here. See, I can create this water effect like this. Actually, it is repeating that image for many times. Normally, we don't write the repetition of that image. Normally, we can create it. I'll show you other execution. 6 AM jQuery water effect.
Yeah, made it as work part
No.
to take the link.
Here water.
To take the link, but I not able to make it as display part now.
See here, water ripples, how the ripples are coming here. You can see. This type of rippling effects, we can create it by Jquery. And slideshow. Different type of slideshows you can create it here. See, some are fading effects, some are slideshow. Some images are coming, different slideshow here. You can see here. This is zooming. This is turned down. This is fading. Here, fading effect. Like that, different type of effects we can show to the user because of this Jquery. So if we implement the Jquery application, then we can show different type of water rippling effect, validation effect, like that different type of effects we can show to the user by Jquery. So these are our Jquery. Even if you want a draggable content, see, I can make my item as a draggable item. For this type of draggable content, we can use Jquery. So we use the Jquery here for creating this type of output. Jquery is nothing but it's a library of JavaScript. HTML, basic of HTML will create the structure for our application. HTML is nothing but it's a hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup.
Previously we have saved
markup language.
We have made it 2 times. 2 updates are done on this
and
file.
It is used for creating the structure for web application. Mainly structure of application we can create it by HTML, and CSS is nothing but cascading style sheet. Cascading style sheet. So mainly this is used for creating the style part of the application. Style of web application, we can create it. So style part of application, we can create it by style part of application, we can create it by CSS. Jquery is nothing but it's a functionality of browser. We can create it by JavaScript. Using JavaScript, we can create object-oriented programming. So by using this JavaScript, we can create our application, and we can using this JavaScript, we can write validations. What I explained with jQuery, those all stuff we can also implement it by JavaScript. I'll show you a few examples under JavaScript. Here, cookie creation. So if I'm creating a cookie for my application, when I click on create cookie, it will create my cookie inside this browser. So cookies, as of now, I cannot show. So animate. Animation effect, we can create it here. So by animation, see, because of that animation, it's changing that image continuously. It is changing. Those images are not available. Good. Okay. So animate. See, every time, every few seconds, my div tag position is changing. And once it reaches from the left side 800 pixels, it is stopped its animation. So this is because of animate. Because of animate, it is implementing like this. Because of animate method, it is implementing like this. Next, events, all types of events, mouse over event, mouse out event, onload event, like that, on change event, before print event, after print event, like that, different type of events. Events are nothing but click, mouse over, mouse out, before print, after print, on change. See here, on change my drop down list. Here, on change event. When I change the drop down list, that is on change event. When I mouse over on the image, when I click on that button, so that is mouse out event. Like this, we can create it. Here, I'm using here using JavaScript. We can create a draggable event, navigators, and submission. Form submissions also we can create it by this navigation. And map tag. Suppose if you have a single map, you can redirect. See here, I can show. If I pass longitude, latitude, I can show that Google Maps. And when I click on this, it is redirecting to sun.html page. So that particular image, this particular image will redirect to mercury.html. This particular image will redirect to venus.html. Like that, it will redirect to different different HTML tags by using this. Okay, so because of this jQuery JavaScript, we can write events, and we can write cookies, we can create animation effects, we can write the object-oriented programming, we can declare variables, we can write navigators. So like that, we'll discuss all the exceptions, handling of exception, adding events, event listeners. Like that, we can implement it through JavaScript. Similar way, using jQuery. So what is the jQuery? jQuery is nothing but it's an external library of external lib of JavaScript. The external library of JavaScript. So using this jQuery, so we have some library. You can download it from the Google. jQuery 3.5.1.js. If I add this file in my program, I can implement different type of execution. A similar way, we have jQuery Ripple.js. Just before I showed that water rippling effect, na? So for that we can use jQuery Ripple.js. Similar way, we can also implement jQuery Ripple.js, jQuery validation.js. Just before I showed form validation, so those type of validations we can implement it by jQuery validation.js. Similar way, we can also implement jQuery validation.js, ripple.js, cyclic rotation, slideshow of images, we can create it by jQuery cycle.js. Okay. So we are implementing different type of effects by using this jQuery. Are you getting disturbance? Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. So by adding jQuery 3.5.1, we have some libraries, some extra libraries we have. If we add these libraries for our program, we can create those type of effects. Just now I showed water rippling effect, validation effects, draggable item, slideshow, validation, water rippling effect. These are all effects we can create it by. These all types of effects we can create it by our jQuery. Same way, we can also create the Ajax call. Ajax call, if we use the Ajax call, so what is the Ajax? See, just I'm giving the brief information of our total content. Whatever the content I'm going to cover for you, cover for our UI codes, that content I'm explaining here. So next one is Ajax. Ajax is nothing but it's asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It's a combination of XML and the JavaScript. So we can create that asynchronous call. So it is asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So by using this Ajax call, we can create our application. And if I am writing my Ajax call means I can able to, without submitting my entire page to server, only part of request we can submit to server will get the response. Means while chatting with some person in the Gmail, I can also check my inbox. So rather than submitting the entire page to server, only part of request we can submit to server and we'll get the response from the server simultaneously. So this is asynchronous process. So asynchronous time, I'll show you one example here. Here I want to connect with some person. So I want to say hi to some person. Here I want to say hi. See here. While chatting also, while checking my mails also, I can chat with one person. So this type of thing I can do it. See, I can check my mails, I can chat with some person. Two simultaneous actions. But here when you check for sent mail, it is loading the entire page. But when I submit my request, hi request to that person, see here, sending now. So once again I say, see, sending now. It is not submitting entire my chat window. It's only messages refreshing. Only messages reaching to server into that particular mail ID person. Okay. If I say hi here, see here, sending now. Sending now means just only part of request is submitting to server and we are getting that response. This type of thing we can do it by asynchronous call. That is what Ajax. Using Ajax, we can implement this type of code, this type of implementation.
Ma'am, please repeat once.
Here, Ajax means Ajax means we don't submit the entire request to server. Suppose here I'm checking one of my website. Here mobile recharge. So while checking my page, here if I want to check the landline, if I want to check some of the menus here, I want to check the contact page. See here, total pages refreshing and coming new pages displaying. It is not saying sending the just part of request to server. It's submitting the entire request to server. Entire request. I want to see that geo recharge plans. See entire page and URLs also changing here. When I write here, when I click on home, again entire page is reloading and displaying. This is synchronous. Asynchronous means only part of request is submitting to server. Here I am saying hi means sending now. Means it is not refreshing this window, it is not refreshing entire my window. Can you find it?
Okay.
Just only part of request is submitting to server. This is asynchronous call. This type of pages we can call it. Yes.
But the person is getting message.
Yes. He is getting the message. He is that in his page only. It is only part of page. Wherever he need message, that request is will refresh. Suppose you are checking mail. You already opened your Gmail. You stay here. You leave your page. Will it refresh with a new mail or it will show only 2 mails? If you get any new mail to your Gmail, it will refresh, right? It will show updated mails anyway. It will show. Okay. So that way. Okay. That is asynchronous. We no need to submit our entire page to server. Only part of request we can submit and we'll get the response. That is what asynchronous. Synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous means we'll submit the entire page to server. Asynchronous means we no need to submit our entire page to server. Only part of request we can submit it and we'll get the response. Okay. Only part of request we can submit to server and we'll get the response. So asynchronous calls we can create like this. Next one, here JavaScript, Ajax, synchronous. And what is the responsive design? Responsive design, I'll show you that output. So I'm designing my web page for desktop. So desktop designing, I'll show it 3-column layout. So one is top header, then next menu bar, all the list of menus, then left side content, center content, and right side content. 3-column layout I can show you in desktop. My web page will show you 3-column layout in the desktop. So when I change my screen, so I'm checking that same application in tab. Tab size will change. I'm checking that same site in mobile. How it has to show the output. This 3-column layout, if it show here also 3-column, here also 3-column, no one can read that content. So whenever your screen size changes, it has to convert into 2-column layout and the single-column layout. In tab, it has to show 2-column layout. In mobile, it has to show single-column layout. Single-column layout. Then only we can read the content. Within the small screen, if you divide into 3 parts, we cannot read the content, right? Yeah. So for mobile and tab and desktop sake, we can show different type of screen resolutions, different resolutions. Suppose if you take here width of 1200 pixels, if you take here 800 pixels of width of tab, and mobile you can take like 500 pixels. So for all resolutions, we have to change that output. Means output will be same, but column layouts has to be changed. That will learn it in the responsive design. In responsive design time, I'll explain that. See here, image responsive and responsive one. See, this is my desktop. If I change my screen to mobile, it will be like that. So if I'm changing my screen to here, maximize it, minimize it. Here, I'll change my screen size. I'll increase my screen size. See here, tab. I'm checking in 3 different resolutions. See here, this is entire screen. This is medium. Somewhere. See here, in this location, it is same. Here, tab. Here, mobile. Depends on your screen resolution, we can change that images. And depends on your screen resolution, you can change the size of the column layouts. Column sizes, column layout structure, we can change it here because of this. Here, see here in mobile, it's showing background colors are changed and the 3 columns are showing into 3 rows. And here, when I change my resolution, see tab, it is showing here 3 columns. In desktop, it is showing like this, bigger size width. 3 columns converting into 2 columns and single column and 3 column. So for different resolution, we can show different type of output. This is all because of responsive design. Because of responsive design, we can show that type of output to the user. Because of responsive design, we can show this type of output. Here it is responsive design. Then what is the use with the Bootstrap? Bootstrap is nothing but it's a ready-made structure. Ready-made files we have. Ready-made library we have. We can create the grid layout, different type of tables, different type of grids, different type of containers. Directly we can create it by using that library. Just we'll add that libraries in the program in the top. By that we can create our application. I'll show you that executions. Here containers. So for fixed width container and responsive container, we can create like this. Responsive container means, see, if you change your screen size, according to that it will change. When I change to grid layout, see here, first it is single column, column 1, column 3 columns, and here is the unequal column. Third row is unequal columns, and fourth row is 2 small size columns. Here I am changing my screen size. This columns, the third row is converted into 2 rows, column layout converted into row layout. So this is automatically responsive, automatically framework, HTML framework. We don't need to write the code from the scratch if you use the Bootstrap. See how to create the spinners, how to write the grayscale images with a rounded corner, how to write the tables with this type of striped table and mouse overable table, H overable table, how to here H overable table, how to create all these things we'll discuss there in the Bootstrap tab. Bootstrap. Lessons as I'll explain you once I enter in that lessons as topic. Okay, this is about the total introduction, whatever I'm going to cover it in our course. So I'll explain HTML 4 and 5 version, CSS 2 and 3 versions. I'll explain. This JavaScript is according to ECMAScript ES6 version, ES6 to ES9. All updates I'll add it in our JavaScript. Major topic of our course, almost 20 hours of session will sit on JavaScript only. Next we'll go with the Jquery. Jquery will cover 5 to 7 hours of sessions will take for Jquery, then Ajax, then responsive design, then Bootstrap. So to cover this entire course sake, so it takes 40 to 45 hours of sessions is required to cover this course. We can continue our course. Yeah, any more doubts till now? Yeah, and one more information, tomorrow will be the last day for this demo sessions. So today I explained what is what and how I'll explain and how my class goes. If you are feeling I'm going fast, so I'll go slow in the class sessions. Just to cover the introduction sake, I covered like this. If you feel like I'm going fast means I'll go slow anyway according to your how you are able to follow. In that way I'll teach you. Anyway, I'll teach according to your standard. Timings and all, if you need any class timing changes and all, I'll let you know. If I contact the organizer, if they tell, definitely will change the class timings. And any doubts up to now, how is my session? Are you able to catch me or not? Am I going fast or slow?
Everything is fine.
Yeah, all of you. Opnil is responded. Rajesh, today only you joined. Mahendra, you joined yesterday. Anshuman joined today only. Aditya. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, good. Fine. Okay. Yeah. Any more doubts? Okay. We'll meet tomorrow for the continuation of our course, and tomorrow only this link will work. Then day after tomorrow, they're going to change this link. So contact the organizer for the further details. They will upload our recordings in OneDrive, Google Drive. They will share with you. And every day you will get mail from my side. Once the class is regular, then I'll start sending the documents to you. Whose mail IDs I'll get from the organizer. For them only I'll share the documents. I'll share these files. I'll share the course content. I'll share programs, whatever I'm going to explain for you. Your batch sake, I'll create one folder and I'll save all your programs in that particular folder. Suppose if I'm explaining HTML4, all HTML4 programs, I'll save it here and I'll send that particular day. And that HTML4 related document I have here, the document also I'll share with you in the same day. So you have to follow, you have to read out the document, you have to do practice on the same day, and if you come for the next class, that will be easy to understand. If you don't practice, if you keep aside, and if you want to start practicing on Saturday, Sunday, so it will become a big question mark. Starting days, it will feel like all are easy, but once you gather all together, then it will become a big question mark. So you have to practice in the same day. That will be give more clear on the subject. If you practice daily and if you come with your doubts, anyway, I'm welcome for your doubts, and how much discussion you required in the subject, that much I'll go for it. Even if I don't know, I'll search it and I'll let you know. Okay, no problem from my end. I'm not teaching for my sake. Until you understand, I won't go for the next topic. Okay, so we'll go like that. Yeah, that's it. And link will change for day after tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last demo session. Once contact the organizer, how to get the recordings, how to contact for mail IDs and mail sharing and all. Okay then. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.